A child's first place of learning is home. It's the place where children find meaning and develop a sense of self, who they are, including their family cultural imprint. Each child, family, and educator has his or her own unique culture of how to live, eat, sleep, talk, dress, play, think, work, and socially and emotionally interact. Culture is not something someone else has. It is something we all have.
Oh, yes, we have hugely diverse families. Non-English speaking families of Chinese, Indian, Russian, many different Indian dialects. We have from little children up. They generally come with no language at all except their home language, no English language. Very obviously they have lots of other language. And then by the time they get to kindergarten, they are speaking fluently in English with huge vocabularies, and that's going to make their journey to the public school much better. It's also wonderful for the other children in the class to become aware that there are very many diverse people, colors, shapes, languages. We learn everybody's language a little bit. By the time they get to be between 3 and 5, they all learn parts of each other's language. We do a lot of discussion of different people in different cultures. We do a lot of everyday discussions of different foods, different clothing. It's not any particular unit on multiculturalism. It's the people who are in the class live it, and so we live it with them.
As diverse environments grow, there is critical need in the early childhood community for cultural competence, or what is described as the ability to understand diverse viewpoints and appropriately interact with members of other cultures in a range of situations.
I think cultural competency is another thing that I look at. I think that the world that we are living in, we need to share that with our children. We all come to this field with biases. It's just what it is in our life. But we have to look beyond those biases and understand that cultural competency is more than just knowing what holidays people celebrate. There's so much more to that. And it's a wonderful opportunity for some training, I think, with staff members, but you need to be open to it.
Supporting cultural understanding and diversity within a program means knowing and engaging all families.
Whenever a new family starts with us, we always do a getting to know you interview. So we sit down with them and we ask them questions about their home life and about their background, who they live with, so the teachers can connect with the children on a more personal level. Tell me about your brother, how is your mom or your dad, and that way they also don't ask inappropriate questions like how is your dad if the child doesn't live with a dad. We have Middle Eastern families, we have African, Jamaican families, we have a lot of South American families here, Puerto Rican families. It's every different kind of family here. And our teachers just really take the time to make sure they say hello to everyone in the morning. They ask parents how their day was, how their morning was, and how their job is going. They make sure they get to know them through home visits and conferences as well. We have 4 different conferences every year, or home visits, depending. And during that time we sit down with the families and we really talk about what their goals are and what their reasoning for having their children here is and what they expect to get out of it and how we can help them work towards those goals together.
What constitutes a family? We try to avoid saying parents. Instead we say family members, because it may not be a biological parent, it may be 2 same-sex parents, or it could be a grandparent, or it could be an aunt, it could be someone unrelated to the child caring for the child. So I think it's the understanding of that. We also have to look at the whole economic diversity. We have families, 85% of our families are low income and qualify for some type of eligibility, of child care eligibility and subsidy. But we also have families who don't, and families who are more well off. There's nobody rich in today's society. When you have a child in child care, we know how expensive it is. But you need to talk about what the expectations are and what people's beliefs are. We have diversity of religion. What's important for us to know is not necessarily what religion they are, but what is it that they celebrate in their family? What things are important to them?
Visit Better Kid Care, www.betterkidcare.psu.edu. We care because you care.